Good evening, everybody. Hi, my name is Julia Green. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and this is my Tuesday Night Live. If you're out there, say hi so that I know that you're watching. So, I have been a demonstrator for a long time, quite a few years anyway, and I'm always amazed at how in this Stampin' Up! Community we kind of bounce ideas and stuff off of each other. We see something that somebody else does and we, make it our own type of thing. And like you, I find myself on my phone, scrolling. And I find reels and all these fun things. And I was watching a reel the other night, and it is Sue's Paper Creations, and she lives in British Columbia. And I have to tell you that 20 some years ago, when I became a demonstrator, I didn't think we would be bouncing ideas with people from, all parts of the world. But here we are, 20 some years later. And she did a reel, and it came up on my Facebook, and she did it about the elements of three. And you guys know that when I'm putting on embellishments and things, I usually use three. One of my new things is if they're free, use five. And it's that odd number thing. But there's really a lot to be said about the number three. So, her thing was called Quick and Easy 1, 2, 3. So, you know me, I kind of went down the rabbit hole and I started looking up the significance to the number three. And I found this. The number three is widely considered significant across various cultures and disciplines, often representing completeness, harmony, and divine perfection. It appears frequently in religious texts, mythology, storytelling, and numerology, signifying themes of creativity, communication, and balance. Okay, and back in my days of working in floral design, it was always we used three because it was just easier on the eye and all that fun stuff. So tonight I'm going to show you some cards using the elements of three. Okay, so my first card tonight, we're going to start with Perfectly Pairs. The Perfectly Pairs suite is available online. As you can see, I got my little sticker there. It says online. So I've gone ahead and I have pre-cut everything out here. Make sure I have everything out of my cute little envelope. So I've already gone ahead and I stamped my pairs ahead of time. And I've got the flower elements stamped and cut out, a couple of those. And you'll notice I have 3 different elements there. And then I have 3 pieces of DSP. Now these are 1.5 by 4 inches. Hi Chloe, hi Chels. And I have my card base. I'm using Old Olive tonight as my card base, okay? And that's our normal card base, 4.5 by 5.25. I have a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 piece of Petal Pink that I'm going to use as my next layer. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my 3 pieces of DSP, and I'm going to start with one with the pear side. And this one I happen to be using the same DSP. I'm just going to use both sides of the DSP. So I'm going to put my first of my 3 pieces of DSP right up here in this corner. I'm going to bring the next one in, and this one I'm going to use the other side. I'm going to use that really pretty Mossy Meadow and Old Olive pattern that's on the other side. And we're going to layer that one right next to this one. Okay, now I'm going to take my other pear design and I'm going to bring that down to the bottom. So this one I'm going to bring right down to the bottom, so it's going to leave that little strip in the middle. Now I'm going to use my Congratulations, and I already have it mounted here on a block. And I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. We're going to ink up Mossy Meadow. We're going to use Congratulations. I actually might use this card. I have a wedding in a few weeks, and I thought the little pears were kind of cute, so we might use this one. So we're going to go ahead and stamp Congratulations right in there. Now we're going to use our elements. So now you need 3 elements. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and mount this to my card base. I can see red, so I'm going to need a refill. So we're going to bring this up. We're going to put this right on the front of that old olive card base. Now I'm going to take this little strip, and we're going to put that on the inside. Put that right in here. Okay. And now we have our 3 elements. So we're going to start with the pears. And I am going to, I'm using up a dimensional from a paper pumpkin. So I'm just cutting these off here. So we're going to put the first pear, we're going to put right here, or the first element rather. Okay. Now I colored in my leaves, so I stamped this in Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to color in my leaves with the light old olive. Now if I really wanted to give that some more dimensional, I will take the dark old olive, and I might just come in and follow some of the lines and just give that a little bit more dimension. Now I went ahead and I've stamped and cut out the groupings of flowers. Hi Patricia. And I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of those as well. And we're going to put one up here in this corner. And then we did the other one down here underneath the congratulations. Now I'm going to take 3 embellishments. So I'm going to grab my take your pick tool. And I'm going to grab 3 of these embellishments that come with the suite. We're going to use the Darling Duckling. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, now, you know me, I like to stamp on my envelopes and inside. So I'm going to get this stuff out of the way. So I'm going to take my pears and I'm going to grab that Mossy Meadow again. And we're going to stamp the pears inside, right over here in this corner. And then, where'd my envelope go? I have an envelope here. And we're going to stamp the pears on the envelope. So we're going to outline the pears like that. Then we're going to take the Darling Duckling and we're going to stamp the insides of the pears. So we're going to do Darling Duckling. And then I took Cajun Craze, and we're just going to do a little color on the edges. We're going to color in give our pears some color. And then again, I'm going to grab that blend, Old Olive blends. And we are going to color in our leaves. But when you're coloring the envelopes, sometimes the color bleeds through. So you're going to want to take a scrap piece of paper and put that down in there like that, so that the color doesn't bleed through your envelope. And we stamped with our regular ink pads. So because our blends are alcohol markers, we can color in with the blends. Okay, so there's my first one. And it's all about the threes. So we have 3 strips of the DSP, 3 elements, and 3 embellishments. So I really, like I said, I kind of went down a rabbit hole and got looking into the threes and all the places that 3 really, the 3 is also, well, for example, in Dickens, we had the 3 ghosts that represented past, present, and future. So there was another thing that came up as the number 3. In ancient Greece, the number 3 was considered to represent harmony, wisdom, and understanding. And when I wrote down harmony, wisdom, and understanding, I realized that with wisdom comes understanding, which also makes harmony. So it just, like I said, I got going down the rabbit hole with the whole number 3 thing. It was kind of crazy. So, anyway, it was a good crazy, right? It was a good crazy. All right, so let's do another card. Let's get my example out of the way here so that I can show you another card. So I wanted to mention this next card we're going to use, this Pretty Glimmer paper. This is on the last chance list, and it comes in a lot of the in colors that are the ones that will be leaving us this year. So we have Petunia Pop and Summer Splash and all those. So this would be a really good thing to have in your stash if you have all those colors. And I have the number written there for you. It's 163771, and it's on the last chance list for $6.60. So good deal. All right. So in this next one, we're going to be using the Unbound Beauty DSP, but we're going to play around with the elements from the butterfly. Beautiful butterflies. And let's hope all my elements come out of my envelope here. I also use these new embellishments, the charming shimmer. So I can get this out of the way. But I wanted to mention that because that's like a really good deal. Really good deal. Almost a steal deal. All right. So I am using Summer Splash as my card base. This is our normal 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to fold that up. Okay. And then the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 is white on this one. We have our 3 pieces of DSP. And again, I'm using the fronts and the backs. So I'm using 2 of the one pattern, and then the third one is just flipping it over. I have my little strip for inside, and then I have these beautiful butterflies that I made using the dies from the butterflies. All right, so I am going to build my butterflies first. So I'm going to finish poking out all these little pieces out of my butterflies that didn't come out when I die cut them. And I have 3, so these are my 3 elements. Okay, so we have the 3 pieces of DSP, we have the 3 elements, and then we're going to do 3 embellishments. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of my liquid glue here, and I'm just going to put a little bit in the centers of each one of my butterflies, and then we're going to add their sparkly bodies. So I cut the bodies out with the glimmer paper. Look at that. What do you think, Chloe? I thought they were pretty darn pretty with their sparkly bodies. How is camp, my dear? Was it hot? Hopefully you're doing some swimming. Okay, so there's my butterflies. We're going to slide them over there, out of the way. All right, so let's go ahead and build our card base. So we're going to do, I like this side. So we're going to put one piece right up here at the top. Then we're going to do this piece going this way. And this piece. And you want to leave about, it's kind of 1/8 of an inch in between each piece, because you want to leave plenty of room for you to write, or to stamp, not write, stamp your salutation. Oh, look at that. I knew that was going to happen. Let me get another stamp and seal here. Pull up my stamp and seal. Okay. All right, and this one is going to come down here at the bottom. All right, now we are going to use Berry Burst, and we're going to use the Happy Birthday stamp that came with the butterfly stamp set. And we're going to stamp Happy Birthday over to the right hand side, just like that. And we're going to put our little strip of paper on the inside. And then we're going to mount this to the front of our card base. Just like this. I was just really impressed how well this all came together. It was pretty impressive to me. All right, we're gonna flip our butterflies over because I think that glue is pretty dry. We're gonna grab some mini glue dots. We're gonna put one right in the center of each one of our butterflies here. And now we're gonna put our 3 elements on. So we're gonna do one butterfly right there. We're going to do the other one over here. And then we're going to do the 3rd one up here. Just like that. Now, we need our 3 elements. So we're going to use the, I don't know if these are Petunia Pop or if they're Berry Burst, but whichever. I like them. So they went with my colors. So we're going to do 3 of these. So we're going to do one here this time. And again, it's like no matter where you put them, because you're doing the 3, it looks good. It looks okay. It just goes with the flow. And then one up here. Now, we're going to grab the butterfly stamp. And we're going to stamp inside of our card. Right down here in the corner. We're going to put that pretty butterfly. And then on our envelope, we are going to put him right down in the corner. So there you have it. There's number 2. Okay. All right. There was my sample. Okay, so let's do one more. Because we're doing 3s tonight, we're going to do a 3rd one. All right. So this one, I'm using the Impressions of Bloom suite. That is in, this is online. I don't remember if this is online or if it's in the annual catalog. I can look that up for you if you want to know. All right, so here's a little tip and trick for you too. So I needed 3 of these little guys, and I didn't want them to get lost in my envelope, and I wanted them to be sticky. So this is a strip of glue dots. They're already stuck to the glue dot, so they'll be all set. For this particular card, we are going to use no, this is not Petunia Pop. It is, what color is this? This is Fresh Freesia. Okay. And then we are going to do, our next layer is going to be Pool Party. We have our 3 elements here that I've stamped and then cut out. Our strip of cardstock for the inside, which I'm just going to go right ahead and put that inside. Okay, and then I have my 3, this time I switched it up a little bit. So I have 2 pieces of cardstock, and I took a piece of old olive, and it is the same 1.5 inches by 4 inches. And this time I decided to emboss this. So this is the embossing folder that goes with this suite, and it is called Pressed Flowers Embossing Folder. And it goes with this suite. Okay, and then I also decided, because this stamp set didn't really have any long, well, I Appreciate You kind of would go in there, but I didn't really like the I Appreciate You, so I was looking for something. So I grabbed a hold of Blooming Phrases. This is an online one, and look at all the salutations that you could use in that little space. So I was like, that will work perfectly. So I grabbed that. So let's take our Pool Party piece, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the flower paper up top, just like this. Now we're going to take that embossed piece, and we're going to put that next. And again, we're still doing the 3s, but I brought in a new element by bringing in the embossing folder. So I just thought that was kind of neat. See what I mean when you get like I said the other night, you get like a layout or something that you like, and I start making them, and then before you know it, I'm like on a roll. Or, like I said before, I go down the rabbit hole. I go down the rabbit hole. All right, so Misty Moonlight is the blue on this paper. So that's what I decided to do my salutation. I liked Hello There. So we are gonna stamp Hello There right in the middle. And the other thing I liked about it was that now the salutation on this one is on the other side, which I liked a lot. Let's go ahead and mount this to our card base. In front of that Fresh Freesia. Okay, now I'm gonna take my 3 elements And we're going to put a dimensional on the back of each one. And I have 3 leaves that go with each one, so I'll flip those over because I need dimensionals on those as well. I'm going to use my mini dimensionals for that. So we're just going to do a leaf. Now, this particular stamp set, you know, I didn't think I needed another flower stamp set because it has so gosh darn many flowers. But what I really liked about this stamp set was the way that you could stamp and emboss them. So we have our stamps, and then we have all the dies that cut out the shapes, but then we have these little guys in the centers that do this embossing. So I'll show you my flower. It's not only stamped, but I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's also embossed, which I just thought was kind of neat. So that was why I purchased this particular stamp set. So I'm going to put one flower over there, and we're going to give him a leaf. I'm going to do a leaf like that. And I did the same thing with the leaves. I stamped them, cut them out, and embossed them. So we're going to put another flower up here because I have the little divot in my embossing folder, so that's why I decided to do one there. I'm going to do a leaf to go with him. And then I have another empty spot without the embossing folder over here, so I decided to do that in that corner, and then we're going to give him a leaf. Now my little flowery pieces here are not my embellishments, they are the centers of my flowers. So we're just going to peel these off and put them in the center here. Just like that. Now we're going to do some stamping. We're going to stamp, oh, we need the 3 embellishments. So I decided to use, for these guys, I decided to use the brass butterflies. Because what goes better with flowers than butterflies? So we did a big one over here. We did a big one right in here. And then we did a little one. We did him right down here. Right there. Okay. So we have our 3 strips of paper, our 3 embellishments, and our 3 elements. Now we're going to do some stamping. So I am going to grab fresh freesia, and I'm going to stamp my flower. And we're going to use Garden Green and stamp a leaf. Okay, and then to use the inside of the flower, I wanted something that looked like the little element that we used. So I used these 3 little flowers that are in Blooming Phrases. And I grabbed Berry Burst. And I just did one in the center and then the other 2 off to the side. So just like that. Oops, I got green on my envelope. And I also did the same thing on the inside of my card. So we got that, and then the flower, and then Berry Burst. And this one's Berry Burst. Which one's? Yeah, this one's Berry Burst. And so we're gonna do like one of the little flower element in the center, and then the other 2 flowers off to the side. So there you have it. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 strips of paper, 3 elements, and then 3 embellishments. All right. So there's 1. Close up all my ink pads. There's 1. Here's 2. And here's number 3. So let me see if I can get this kind of. Hi from Barcelona. Oh, fun! I hope you're having a great time, Candy. All right, so like I said, I get on a little, I kind of go down a rabbit hole when I get a layout that I really like, but look how different they all look. And I love it. I love the whole elements of 3. So, like it said, the number 3 is often associated with creativity, communication, and optimism. It represents mind, body, and spirit. So I'm really about all this number 3 thing. I'm not usually into numerology, but this really all seemed to kind of click for me. So I was on a roll, so you know me. When I get on a roll, I just keep on going. So we have this cute one here that we did. So this one is using the B paper. And so I have the 3 different strips of paper. We have our 3 elements, which I cut out of the paper. And then we have our 3 embellishments, okay? And You're as Sweet as Honey is our little thing. And then inside, I did the strip and I did a cute little bee peeking up over the strip, which I thought was kind of cute. And then on this one, since I wasn't using a stamp, I did the DSP on the envelope. So there's that one. Then this one is really fun. This is using the birthday paper. So again, we have 1, 2, 3 strips of paper. We have Happy Birthday in here, and that came from Choose Happy. Okay, because we have this cute little happy and choose, and then all these other salutations, which I thought were really, really, so they were perfect for this card design. Okay, and then we have our 3 elements, which is the big piece of cake, the big cake, the flower on the cake, and then another flower over here. And then we have our 3 embellishments. Okay, and then on the inside, I did the cupcake, because these are the die cuts from the paper. This is that specialty paper that comes with a sheet of die cuts. Actually comes with 2 sheets of die cuts. So I did that. And then on the envelope, I ended up using the birthday paper as well, since I didn't really have a stamp that I was working with. And then because we're in July, every time I go live this month, I'm going to do a Christmas in July. So I will show you something Christmassy or holiday-ish. All right, and so this is my one for that. This one is Peace, Love, and Joy. So we have the 3 strips of paper. On this one, I used the DSP, and then I used this beautiful glitter paper that will be available with this suite. This is going to be in the new mini catalog when it comes out. I've showed this to you guys before. We were able to pre-purchase this for Creativity Now. I have my Peace, Love, and Joy in there, and then I have my doves. And then on the inside, I did and this one I did like an easel card. And now my 3rd element on the outside is the strip of ribbon. So we have the 2 doves, the strip of ribbon, bleh, first day with my new tongue. And then for my 3 embellishments, I have 3 sparkly gems, and they're right across there. So again, just switching it up a little bit. And then on the inside, I have my strip of paper and another dove. And then this was something totally new for me. Instead of stamping an image on the outside of my envelope, I stamped Peace on Earth. So that's my little Christmas in July sample to go with my elements of 3. So let me show you those 3 next to each other. So there's those 3, and then the 3 that I did with you guys tonight. So 6 samples for you guys tonight. I was pretty impressed. So today is the 8th or the 9th? Today's the 9th? The 8th. I forget what date it is today anyway. But we're getting really close to the 10th. So July 10th will be the last time that you will be able to get this paper pumpkin. So if that's something that you're interested in, you're going to want to go ahead and sign up for Paper Pumpkin. If you need any help with that, please just let me know. I'm really looking forward to this Paper Pumpkin, and I also just recently bought the add-on that goes with this, and for some reason I have not downloaded a picture of the add-on. So, but there's a strawberry dye in there, so I had to have the add-on. Starting tomorrow, so I guess today is the 8th because tomorrow would be the 9th. Starting tomorrow, there's a 20% off all two-tone cardstock. So our two-tone cardstock, as you know, is the cardstock that has the white base. It's not the same color all the way through like our 12 by 12 cardstock used to be. So that's just something to keep in mind. And at 20% off, who doesn't love a good sale? And then I'm so excited because my album retreat supplies are coming tomorrow. I am going to do this, and one of the reasons I decided to do this was, one, I want more scrapbook layouts, but two, I also like the idea that it's a private Facebook group, and you can watch the videos anytime it's convenient for you. So for some reason, if you're on vacation July 16th through the 18th, or you're working between 2 and 10:30, then you'll be able to do these at your own leisure because you will have access to that Facebook group. So that was the selling point for me on that. And then I'm really excited to tell you that I will be going to Backstage in Vegas. I went online today. I did not make the last event, and I was pretty disappointed not to be able to go to the last event. And my upline, Linda, and I today, literally, we booked the event, we booked our hotel, and we bought our airfare. So we are going to Vegas in November. I'm pretty excited. It's going to be at the Red Rock, which is where we have been before. And I have to tell you, it was a real lot of fun. It was casino, restaurants, everything all under one roof. So it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to going back again. So, and as always, Stampin' Up, they spoil us. And I missing the last couple of events. So I saved up for this one and decided I would be going. So, and talking about those rabbit holes that I go down a lot, here's one. I saw this online today, and I just thought it would be really fun to share with you. I thought this was a pretty creative store name. It's called Shit You Don't Need. And it said, I'm going in with a smiley face. So that's what happens to me when I go down the rabbit hole. So I apologize if all the significance of the number 3 tonight was really stuff that you didn't need, but I felt that it was really fun to share with you, and I found it to really stimulate my creativity. As you can see, I came up with 6 fun card samples for you guys tonight. So I'm going to try to get all 6 of them in the screen here so that you can see all of them, and feel free to screenshot them or whatever so that you can see all these fun samples done with the elements of 3. All right, guys, I am going to let you go. My husband is cooking dinner, and so I am going to go downstairs and have dinner. I know it's kind of late, but I had a friend visit this afternoon who I hadn't seen in quite some time, so we are having dinner kind of late tonight. So anyway, so thank you guys all so much for stopping in and watching my videos. As always, I appreciate you all so very much, and I hope this element of 3 has really helped you out. And I just want to give a shout out to Sue's Papers Creations from British Columbia. Thank you for the inspiration, and thank you for the ideas, and hopefully I have shared that inspiration with you guys tonight. So all right, guys, as always, thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll all be stamping together real soon.